everybody, Mewtwo Overkill here, going to be giving you the long-awaited update of the Orichalcos challenge. Having a lot of fun with it over the years. I released all the souls on the wall for the new season in the summer. Also, sorry about the shadows. There really isn't a better place for me to do videos right now. But I thought I'd just get that out of the way. Sorry about the shadows. Anyway, the Orichalcos challenge has been a lot of fun over the years, and I thought I'd finally show you guys the update now that I buffed the Orichalcos deck with the Rise of Atlantis structure deck created. It's an Orica structure deck created by Pegasus Fantasy Cards, and a really cool dude. He's a Orica maker with very high quality merchandise. I recommend him to anyone interested in Oricas. But without further ado, we're going to go into the deck. So we've got the Great Leviathan here. He is the first boss monster of the deck. Not going to explain what he does. You can probably read it well enough. Let's see if we can get that out of there. Anyway, Great Leviathan, boss monster. His effect is pretty busted, but I need a lot of cards in order to get him out. Next up is the main engine of the deck, if you can call it that. 2 Orichalcos Scutaro. Special summon it by paying 500 life points while it's on my side of the field. Face up, all battle damage its controller takes becomes 0. And when it's destroyed, you special summon Orichalcos Shinneros. Shinneros gets special summoned from anywhere except banished. And then his attack is question mark. His attack becomes equal to the number of damage that Scutaro negated while it was on the field. And then, when Shinneros gets summoned, his effect then activates, which special summons Orichalcos Dexia and Orichalcos Aristeros. Now I'll show you why I put Aristeros like that in a second. You probably already know what these do, but for any new viewers, I like to explain all the card effects. So when you have Orichalcos Shinneros and these guys out with Seal Orichalcos, it creates a lock. Because you hide Shinneros in the back row, and then this guy's the ultimate attacker, this guy's the ultimate defender. So what Dexia does is whenever he battles a monster, he gets attack equal to that attack position monster's attack or defense position monster's defense plus 300. So no matter what, he's always going to be 300 higher than what he's battling during damage step only. And then with Silver Orichalcos, which gives all your monsters 500 attack, he'll actually be 800 higher. And then Orichalcos Aristeros does kind of the same thing as Dexia, except he is always 300 more defense than the monster he is battling. He also is able to intercept attacks. Like if your opponent attacks, you can change the attack target to this card. Pretty crazy lock. Which the Orichalcos deck is basically like a very good half beatdown, half stall type of strategy, and this is one of the cores of the strategy. And then once Orichalcos Shinneros gets destroyed by battle or card effect, the arms are also destroyed if Orichalcos Shinneros does not exist on the field. But when Shinneros gets destroyed, the Divine Serpent comes out from anywhere. The Serpent has infinite attacks, so yeah, that's really fair. And then when he gets special summoned successfully, I have to pitch my entire hand and my life points become 0. But as long as this card remains face up on my side of the field, I stay in the game. Basically, that means I can't deck out, I can't lose by Exodia while this is on the field, so it's pretty good. And then, in order to declare an attack with it, I have to send the top 10 cards in my deck to the graveyard for one all-or-nothing attack. So if I get this guy out, and I have less than 10 cards in my deck, he's probably not going to be doing much, other than being a sitting deck, because he can still be killed by card effects. And if he's not on the field, I automatically lose the game, because my life points are 0. Next up, one of the best monsters of the deck, aside from Scutaro, Orichalcos Gygas. You run 3 of this guy just because of how good he is. Whenever he gets destroyed, he just comes back. He gets 500 attack every time he comes back. He remembers how much attack he had. His only downside, if you can call it that, is that I have to skip my next draw phase if he comes back on my opponent's turn. And this guy may seem really overpowered, but you can just banish him, or you can just compulse him. There's ways around this guy. But I usually don't keep him on the field that long with a new card I have in the deck. I'll get to that. right now. New card. This is Orichalcos Soldier. This was actually my own. This is actually a version of Soldier I created myself. This was not in the Rise of Atlantis structure deck. In fact, this effect of Soldier is completely original. Well, some of it is. Some of it I took from other versions of this card that other people made. But Orichalcos Soldier is a level 4 dark. He has 13 defense, 11 attack. I made him 100 points weaker than Celtic Guardian, or Obnoxious Celtic Guardian. If you've seen the anime, you'll know why. But when Orichalcos Soldier, he can be special summoned when I have Seal of Orichalcos on the field, so that's real fair. And then when he gets normal or special summoned, I get to special summon one of these guys from my hand or deck. So he's kind of like a tour guide, but only for this guy. And I can only use that effect of Orichalcos Soldier once per turn, so it's not like I can go bam, and then, no, I gotta wait one turn for each to do that. So yeah, that's Orichalcos Soldier. And as you can see, both these guys are level 4, so it's an instant rank 4 tour guide kind of thing. So that's really cool. It helps speed the deck up. I made this guy to help speed the deck up, because this deck was losing a lot because of the power creep. And then the last monster is Mirror Knight Calling, which I freaking love this artwork for Mirror Knight Calling. When this guy is ritual summoned, he can only be ritual summoned by his ritual spell, but when this guy gets ritual summoned successfully, he summons 4 of these guys, these Mirror Knight tokens, which also look freaking awesome. I just got all these new Oricas today. They look amazing. Pegasus Fantasy cards, you are one awesome dude. But anyway, the Orichalcos Mirror Knights, they each come in with a shield counter, and then when they battle, while they have a shield counter, their attack becomes equal to the attack of the monster they are battling. And if they would be destroyed by battle or card effect, their shield counter goes instead. And as long as and that effect lingers for as long as the tokens are on the field. And then for as long as Mirror Knight Calling is on the field, I can replace their shield counters once per turn. They can only have a maximum of 1 shield counter each. But these guys are still pretty good, because it gives you 5 monsters for the price of 1. 5 monsters that you have to Mirror Force twice, essentially. Next up, we have the whole reason this challenge was created, the Seal of Orichalcos. This is Orica, obviously. A lot of people, when I show them this deck, they say, you know, this is already a real card, right? And I'm like, yeah, but it's freaking terrible. So, but this version, for the purpose of this challenge, is a lot better. Because it's also a hand trap, but it's a field spell first, just like in the anime. So you play this, it can't be negated or leave your side of the field once it's activated. And then all monsters you control get 500 attack. Your spell and trap card zones are also treated as monster card zones. And so you can imagine some of the crazy combos you can pull off with that, because your monsters in your back row cannot be selected as an attack target unless your front row is empty. So there's some pretty crazy locks you can create with particular monsters in the deck. And then this card is also you can also move monsters from your front row to back row as much as you want during your main phase. I forgot, a lot of people don't know that. I thought I'd mention it. And then I said this card's also a hand trap. This card is the Upper Deck Entertainment version of the Seal of Orichalcos had this effect where you can pitch it from your hand to the graveyard, and it negates and destroys any card. It's ruled as a spell speed 4, so it can't be responded to, except by like another one of these. But yeah, that's pretty busted, but it is still just 1-for-1 negation, and it's like the only effect negation I have in the deck. Well, that's actually a lie, but it's the only effect negation in the deck that I don't really have to work for, and I only get 3 of these, 2 if I play one as a field spell, and you get the idea. So next up we have Orichalcos Deuteros. As you can see, it's like the second layer of the Seal of Orichalcos. You play this over it. All Orichalcos layers gain the effects of the previous, so this gains the effects of the Seal of Orichalcos. And then it also adds once a turn I can gain 500 life points times the number of monsters on my side of the field. It also has this weird effect where if my opponent attacks me directly, I can tribute a monster to destroy their attacking monster. However, I never really use that because under what circumstances can monsters attack directly while I have monsters on the field? I know there are some monsters with effects that let you do that, but they're few and far between. I think like this could be like anti-Yosenju or something, but yeah. Then we have Orichalcos Tritos. This is the card that makes a lot of people cry. It basically makes my Divine Serpent and Mirror Knight tokens really, really broken, because what this adds to the seal is that whenever my opponent activates a spell or trap card, that would affect monsters on my side of the field, I can choose to negate and destroy that card. So very good. However, I do have to work. This is what I said, the other effect negation in the deck. I do have to work for it because I can't activate these all in the same turn. I have to wait one turn to play each one. So there's that. I will give you a hint. The core strategy to beating this deck is to get Divine Serpent out before I have this on the field. Because if you can kill Divine Serpent early, you automatically win the game. And that's that's actually a lot easier to do than you think. 2 Terraforming, because there's 5 field spells in the deck. So we have 5, 6, 7 field spells, 5 copies of Seal of Orichalcos, if you want to look at it that way. Actually, wait. That was the old build I was thinking of. There's actually 3 Terraforming in here now. So yeah, you get the idea. You're running a lot of field spells, so you got to search them. So then we've got field spell number 8 and 9, I think. Or 9 or 10. I don't know. Math is terrible tonight. Chosen Destiny. I activate this by paying 1,000 life points, and then I get to select one of 2 effects. I can either destroy one Orichalcos card on the field, ignoring any effects that would stop it from being destroyed. So when you're playing Orichalcos Challenge and you have to forfeit a soul, you can just use this, blow up the seal, so you don't have to give up a soul if you're about to lose. But most of the time you're just going to use the first effect, which is to search any Orichalcos card from your deck to your hand. Then Seal of Orichalcos number 10, or is it 11? I lost count. Orichalcos I. It's a continuous Chosen Destiny, essentially, where you just pay once a turn, you just pay 1,000 to search an Orichalcos card. Next spell card we got is some basic draw power, although it's some very good draw power. We got Card of Demise here. I draw until I have 5 cards in my hand. Yeah, that's real nice. And then, during my 5th standby phase, after I activate this card, I have to send every card in my hand to the graveyard. So it does have a downside, kind of, but the plus definitely outweighs the downside. However, this can be bad in certain situations where you just have a full hand and you can't draw anymore. Or if you have good cards in your hand you want to keep, but you already activated this and you're about to get rid of them all. So it's definitely a more balanced card than Nibelung's Treasure, which I used to use in this deck, but decided against using for this format. So only 1 Card of Demise for generic draw power. Next up, Staple, Double MST, all generic stuff. I run Dark Hole because all my monsters benefit from dying, and Raigeki because it's Raigeki, and MST for more spot removal. Then we have Orichalcos Sword of Sealing. This was a card I used to not use before, but I'm deciding to try it out this format. I discard 1 card and equip it to any monster on the field that's face up, obviously. And then the effects of that monster are negated. And then any effects of the equipped monster that activate when destroyed are sent to the graveyard are also negated. So that's kind of cool, that it can stop things like Burning Abyss or like anything that would activate in the graveyard. Like it could stop Sangan if it was equipped to Sangan or anything like that. I know Sangan's banned, but that's just an example. Orichalcos Mirror, which is used to summon Mirror Knight Calling. And Orichalcos Mirror has this really cool effect that lets me special summon it from the deck as well as the hand. So That's why I only run one copy of Mirror Knight Calling, because it's kind of easy to summon if I have this in my hand and enough monsters to tribute. So that's that. I already explained the ritual monster. The traps, we've got the standard lineup. Bottomless because it's bottomless. Torrential because you don't care about your monsters dying. Compulse because it's compulse, and warning because it's warning. Then we have a new trap card, Martyr Curse. I'm trying this out in the deck for this format. During the battle phase, I activate this, and then I pick a face-up monster on my side of the field and a face-up monster on your side of the field. Those monsters have to battle this turn, but if your monster that I chose is an effect monster, its effects are negated for the duration of the battle. So that's kind of cool. Till the end of the damage step, so yeah, for the duration of that battle. Now we've got a card that I just know a lot of people are going to complain about, but it's in here for the sake of consistency. I didn't want to use this card, but looking at the format right now, it's going to be an FTK format if something doesn't happen on the ban list, so really this was kind of necessary. And it has to be triggered by an attack, too. So it kind of balances itself out in that regard. But this is Orichalcos Stone, a lovely card created by Pegasus Fantasy Cards. This was actually designed by a friend of mine called O'Malley1990, who originally designed this card. But this card can only be triggered by an attack. And when my opponent attacks and I flip this up, I end their turn. Yeah, that's... Well, let's see, where do I start about that? But that's not all... But that isn't all. Then I get to draw 3 cards. So you can see where this is going. I said this is a lot of people are probably going to complain about this card. This is also why I didn't choose to use Nibelung's Treasure, and I opted to use this instead. But then I draw 3 cards. If any of the cards I drew are Orichalcos cards, I can return the non-Orichalcos cards I drew back to my deck and search them and search Orichalcos cards in their place. So it's a very busted trap that mulligans Orichalcos cards and adds them back to my hand, and it's a +3. But remember, it has to be triggered by an attack, and with an FTK format coming up in the foreseeable future, that's probably not going to happen anyway. So this was... Oh wait, I still got the extra deck to do. I forgot there was an extra deck to this. Oh, let's put that aside for now. You don't need to see that. But the extra deck is basically this guy. 3 Orichalcos Dragon, which is essentially Seal of Orichalcos number, or who gives a crap right now. It's created by 2 level 4 Orichalcos monsters, and then you, once a turn, can detach to search an Orichalcos card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So that's pretty good. He's kind of like boss monster number 3. Actually, he's like boss monster number 10 because there's so many boss monsters in the deck. And yeah, he's made by overlaying Orichalcos Soldier and Orichalcos Gygus, if you couldn't tell. So that is the Orichalcos deck. There is one more card in the extra deck, but I'm going to leave it for you as a surprise. The only way you'll get to see that card is if you face me in a duel. Which, getting to that, if you want to challenge this deck and test your skills, I am accepting requests to duel this deck on my Skype channel. We'll do Orichalcos Challenge. I'll have updated rules in the description, but the general rules of thumb are advanced format only, no Exodia and no Burnstall. I might up that to no FTKs if we end up with an FTK format in the foreseeable future. And the loser, I should also mention the whole premise of the challenge is that you defend your soul from the Seal of Orichalcos. The whole point of this challenge is once I activate this card, our souls are on the line. Now, I may sound like some kind of psychopath saying that, but it's all in good fun. But if you lose this with this on the field, it's just if you want, I can get your picture, put the seal around it, and then put it in a soul card like this. This is basically what happens to you when you get sealed. And then it's all in good fun, really. So this was Mewtwo Overkill with the Seal of Orichalcos challenge. I hope you all really enjoyed this challenge over the years. I've had a lot of fun with it. A lot of people I know have also had a lot of fun with it. And here's to a new summer. Here's to a new format. And Mewtwo Overkill out. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave those comments and tell me what you think. And give me those like ratings. Those like ratings really help. And if you got time for it, why don't you click an ad or two? Who knows? Who knows? I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart. Anyway, this has been... I've rambled on long enough. Mewtwo Overkill out. See you all later. Thank you very much for watching.